Because I wish 3-4 years ago when I started, I had someone to tell me what they did wrong. Unfortunately, a lot of money and time went into making mistakes. And still
Tell me
making
about
mistakes.
Hey folks, Ben for Smoke and Hot Confessions here. Not 10 minutes ago, the Sheen Shangri-La was set up here. I turned my back, I grabbed a beer, I come back and it's all gone. Ryan, you guys are obviously pack-up ninjas.
Yeah, we had the trailer ready to rock and roll, the GMGs were cool, the Pro Q was off, the egg was ready to rock and roll, so we just started packing up, had a beer and then the marquee was down. So it takes about 20 minutes with 3 people.
Oh, too easy.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. It used to take about an hour and a half. We've got it down to a fine art.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's obviously come down to practice. So how many competitions are you up to this year?
This year, we do 3 this year so we can qualify and rank for the ABA. Next year might maybe make it up to about 4 to 6, but minimum 3 just so we can get our names up on that leaderboard.
Very nice, cool as. Now, you do a bunch of other stuff in the barbecue world as well. You do all sorts of, like I've seen you doing different demos and bits and pieces. Tell us what you're up to in your outside of competition life.
Yeah, so outside of competitions, I work for a barbecue retailer called Tucker Barbecues in Sydney. They specialise in outdoor kitchens, but I've come along to help the low and slow scene as it is growing. We do a lot of demos, so I work closely with the Big Green Egg because they're a really good barbecue for anywhere from the beginner to the experienced cook. I also teach beginner classes, nothing fancy, but just how to get a backyard cook that little bit better. So a lot of people just want to know how to make it taste good, make it nice and tender, and use the right flavours, and I sort of lend a hand in my experience. It really is a good resource because I wish 3-4 years ago when I started, I had someone to tell me what they did wrong. Unfortunately, a lot of money and time went into making mistakes. Still making mistakes. But it's something that I'm glad that I can sort of hand down just the basics.
Beautiful. So if the people out there are thinking about getting into low and slow, what would be your advice for a starter barbecue?
A starter barbecue, depending on your budget. I'm a big fan of the Pro Q bullet smoker. It's very versatile. You've got 2 stacks. You can grill, roast, smoke. You can use rotisseries. If you don't want to go with charcoal, I probably would recommend the Green Mountain grills, either Davy Crockett for a real small or Daniel Burners to get started. Those pellet smokers really just the ultimate set and forget. Some people don't want to play with fire. They don't want to play with charcoal. They just want to eat good barbecue, and that is a good win and pit.
Mate, I've seen a lot of pellet grills here this weekend. Those and drums seem to really be taking over the scene at the moment. I think I've only seen about 4, maybe 5 offsets. Why do you think that shift is happening?
Well, having an offset can be a bit of a rigorous task. Having a team of 4 people doing shifts, feeding that fire. Sometimes you've had a bit of a few waters per se, and you need to get some sleep. And if you forget to refuel, you've lost 40-minute fire. That's an hour and a half in your cook. So if we can dial it in the GMG or even the drum, you just set that up. Like the drums, again, the second time we cooked on a drum this weekend, and fuel efficiency is ridiculous. So we used the Franken drum by Barbeque, and that thing just sat at 350 for a good 3 hours and used minimal consumption of the heat beads lump charcoal. And then the drums, again, really good for high heat cooking. GMGs we use for more of our longer cooks, so our 8-hour cooks. That used about half the hopper with our thermal blanket and our downdraft, and we really didn't have to think too much about it.
Mate, that sounds like a winning combination to me. So before I wrap this up, who do you think are the teams to watch in 2020?
2020, you've got the people that have been here for a while, so I definitely think Grillers in the Mist, always perfecting what they do. They basically have got it down to a fine art. Unfortunately, judges can be a little bit unforgiving. I think the boys from BBQ are definitely stepping up every time, and the girls from Pit's perfect.
Fantastic. Look, thanks very much for your time.
No worries.
Your father and your mate are still making the last bits of packing up here. They're giving you the stink eye, so I'm going to let you go.
No worries, I'll have to lift some heavy stuff now.
All right, cheers.
Thanks.